Welcome, welcome, welcome. And before I bring in my guest, I want to make one announcement. Simone Facey. Someone is trying to find Simone Facey. So if anyone knows where we can find Simone Facey, please ask her to contact me. Simone Facey was a member of the Pens Relay team 2004 for very technical, and she won gold in the 4x1 with her team. But Simone is the only person from that team that did not receive her plaque. So they're hunting her down to give her her plaque. So please, guys, if you know where we can locate Simone Facey, please ask her to contact me because they're trying to find her to give her her plaque. It is like what? How many years is that? A whole heap of years. I can't even do the maths, but please help me to find Simone Facey. Formerly of Veer Technical, she was on that Super 4x1 team that won a championship race at the Pens Relay, and they want to give her her plaque. So, with that said, I'm going to bring in my guest now. My guest is from an organization that you have been hearing for. If you're in track and field, you would hear about this organization, Team Jamaica BICKLE. Yes, I've been hearing about this organization forever. I mean, it's almost my age. They're celebrating 30 years, almost my age. So I've been hearing about them from I was a little girl. So help me to welcome my guest. My guest is Mr. Erwin Clare, and of course, he is the CEO of Team Jamaica BICKLE. Mr. Erwin Clare, welcome, welcome. My good friend. He's my good friend, and I can call him that. Erwin, welcome. How are you, sir?
Thanks very much for having me. It's been long in coming, as they would say, but nothing happens before it's time.
Indeed.
Great to be with you and your audience.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much for being here. And already we have people coming in on the live. I just want to say welcome to Osman Dixon, Lansford Lyons. He's always here early. Monica Lewis, Hacks, everybody, thank you for being here. And of course, Erwin and I, we are going to be talking about things. Erwin, tell me about a little bit about you before we get into the meat of the matter. Who is Erwin Clare? Who was Erwin Clare as a little boy? Which parish you hail from? Which
Hi.
high school? Just tell us a little bit about you to break the ice.
All right. Well, I was born on Shelley Road, Bamboo, in the great parish of St. Anne. And it's I grew up as an only child. My mom would have migrated when I was probably about 9 years old, so I was left with my grandparents. And so I was one of those child or children who grew up with grandparents, so therefore I had some latitude to make decisions on my own illegally.
Illegally.
Yeah, because I shouldn't be making those decisions, but I made them. And but my life growing up was very interesting because I was the only child at home. My cousins were all in Kingston or elsewhere. And so on the holidays, I'd go to Kingston. I would look forward to going to Kingston or Port Maria, where another uncle I stayed with. And then I had like three aunts who were teachers. I was a bad little picnic, so they would rotate me, you
I
know.
can tell. I can tell.
Okay, moving right along. I did not subscribe to the status quo, so I ran afoul of the rules and regulations. So my aunts would rotate me. So I must have gone either to about six primary school or all age school, whatever, because it went something like this: "It's your turn now," you know. So I ended up passing my common entrance. Them telling me must get a half scholarship, whatever. I barely make it into high school, and I went to York Castle High School, and the principal at the time who gave me the blight to come in was Burchell Whiteman, High Commissioner Burchell Whiteman, one of the most respectful politicians in Jamaica. and he's still alive, and I wish him well. He's just awesome. And so he became almost like a father figure for me. It got me into York Castle, and I kind of waste my time in York Castle until the latter part. I got involved in student politics because back then, to age myself, I went to high school back in 1972, and and in the latter years, 76, 77, on the verge of graduation, Michael Manley at the time was democratizing schools or school boards and all that. So I became the first elected student council president at York Castle, and for 2 years. And I organized things, things that weren't right. I sat on the board. I also was a co-chair of the National Discipline Committee. Who would have thought? Coach.
You.
Yeah. And had to have meetings at the Ministry of Education once a month with several people, notable people. Work with people like Delano Franklin, Robert Stevenson, God bless his soul, no longer with us, and many others. And then I went on to Brownstone Community College. Once again, Birchall Whiteman was there to let me, because he was the first principal of Brownstone Community College. And it was there that I also became student council or student exec president, ran elections, organized elections, all that kind of stuff. I was a student representative for Jamaica at the 11th World Festival of Youth and Students in Cuba. I represented Jamaica at the time.
You
And
were very busy as a youngster.
yeah, instead of doing my schoolwork, and I reluctantly migrated to the United States and went into industry or into a profession at the time that was the antithesis as to what I was all about, and that was banking. When I left corporate America, I was a vice president of Bank Lumi Trust Company at Bank Lumi Trust Company, and then I started my own business in '95 called Caribbean Immigrant Services, which still today is my bread and butter when I'm actively working, because today my passion is about philanthropic work, and Team Jamaica BICKLE occupies a lot of my time, and I'm very proud of that.
And let us move right in. I love that segue. You segue right into what we want to talk about. Team Jamaica BICKLE. What was your mission? What was your vision at that time when you decided to set up this entity?
Leveling the playing field, leveling the playing field, ensuring that all athletes have the basic. That I was brought up in an environment where many times I had to look at others who had and I didn't, whilst we're pursuing the same things, or at least come to the pen relays and any other situation. And we must recognize that most come from economically challenged environment. And you will have the haves and the have-nots, and usually that is divided in because of the school you go to,
Indeed.
determines how well you be taken care of. And that there was a significant disparity. It was obvious, kids were coming and doing some things that, weren't consistent to how they should be treated as ambassadors. At the time, I was president of Jamaica Progressive League, and but in Philadelphia, we'd host athletes at the end of the relays. And so we'd have this big feast, Heather, and people come in a Saturday night, tired like crazy. I remember the colonel from Veer Technical saying to me, "Boy, this is good. However, we prefer to have these kind of nourishment during the games."
Mm-hmm.
And so it became my mission, and I was very friendly with a bunch of guys from Jamaica College because we had a mission down there. We're doing some stuff at Penn Relays. And that became my springboard. I decided that we need to do something. And I got back to New York, and the revolutionary vibes I still had in me then was that I was cognizant of the revolution, but now I was more matured. I realized that to have a revolution, I must know how I'm going to pay for it. And so I sought out Mr. Vincent Osang from Caribbean Food Delight and made my pitch to him. I remember clearly how it went. I was trapped in.
After 30 years, you remember?
Yes, man, because I was trapped in his boardroom, a very cramped boardroom that in order for me to come out, you'd have to get up, you know. So I realized I'd have to leave this place victorious. And after about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, he decided to say, well, let's give it a shot. And so the first year we were to serve our athletes from an 8-foot GE trailer, patty, bun and cheese, and Mr. Hussein drive down and we have some curry chicken or curry goat and white rice. And, you know, the thing started. And so we'd move from there, and we moved to a massive tent at Penn, which became the place to look for, the magnet. I heard you mention about the young miss from Veer Technical. I remembered her quite well. I remember that race too. I remember at Veer Tech, I remember they said they usually have, there's always the mad foal on the relay team, you know. I don't know how that came about, but she was the mad foal for that year, following Veronica and, you know, people like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so the tent became a place where we'd cook Jamaican food. You
I've
know,
been there. I know.
yeah, we transfer a 5-star restaurant setup because we met all the standards. It was no baka wall thing. Because one of the things I pride myself and the persons who I work with is that when you get under the tent, or at least our ambassadors are the persons who have all the entitlements. And our volunteer corps and fantastic volunteer corps, lots of respect for, are made up of professionals. These are people who are doctors, lawyers, entrepreneur, academians, you name it, with all degrees and letters in front of their name. But they come in that tent, they are sweeping the floor, they are serving our athletes, they are speaking with our athletes, they are making sure that our parents, children, poor people, picnic who will come abroad is well taken care of.
I love it. I love it.
And we have all facets of the things that will make them comfortable across the board. Nobody gets more than the other because we felt that we must satisfy the basic tenets of our athletes. And that's why I said to you, we started leveling the playing field. It was about our athletes' welfare. It still is our athletes' welfare.
Amen.
What we have done now is to ensure that we keep a pace with our athletes. We always have to step up our game. You know,
And
that's
I'm going to ask you about that. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. The name Team Jamaica BICKLE. Tell me about its origin.
all
What
right.
was the motivation behind that name?
All right. You see, I start off by telling you I come from Shelley Road Bamboo Center, a country that, all right. And I am quite used to the term bickle because my grandmother used to cook and people used to pass, you know, no bickle there, Miss Richards. And if your pot always full, it's only 3 of us in the house and it's big pot of food all the time. There's always food at our house. Food at the time was the key to what our athletes are all about. Because you see,
Mhm.
they'd come to the United States. And if you know Philly back in them days, is chili cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak, and some big pretzel, and whether it be McDonald's or whatever the case, it was not right to their appetite, to their diets. So we felt that food, nutrition is the basis to the success of our athletes. If our children are properly nurtured, given the right nutrients rather, they will do well. We wanted to make sure. And we saw too many children who were prior years, they wanted stuff. I give a case in point. When we used to hang out with the JC guys, I remember we were in a hotel one day, Kentucky Fried Chicken back in there. I don't know if they still do it. These have these big buckets, you know? And we purchased 2 buckets of chicken and put it down in the center table and turn our backs. And within a jiffy, all of it gone. We laughed, but then we realized something,
Yeah.
that hunger prevailed. And
Hmm.
we must find a way to satisfy that. And so the whole situation of Bickle, it had to be a part of it. And I remember talking to the editor of the North American Glean at the time, Virginia Turner, here in New York, when we are trying to put together the name and Bickle and team. And we came up with it. Kudos to Virginia, who, of course, she's a astute person. And we coined the phrase, Team Jamaica Bickle. People are first at 10 will say, well, you know,
Yes.
the
Yes.
normal things are fool business that.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
But as a countryman, the worst thing you can tell a countryman like me is to tell me, say, boy, me don't know what I do.
Yeah.
Because you're just giving more fuel to demonstrate to you, say, "Ah, you don't know what me I do." You
Ab-
understand me? And what happened to was that it was good because the whole terminal, just as we're going through this, elicited conversation.
yeah.
And it was always my hope that at the end of the conversation, I would have won you over. And that's what it's all about. Team Jamaica Bickle. And
Team
today
Jamaica
still
Bickle.
remains Team Jamaica Bickle, serving not only Caribbean athletes, but providing Bickle for our Caribbean brothers and sisters.
And that's what you know, you are working with me so well, because that was my next question. My next question was going to be, what is your demographic and geographical spread like?
Well, we're I've always and I've been using this term a lot, and my friends have been telling me I need to get another term, but it is consistent. I'm very transactional. And in so doing, I also recognize the importance of Jamaica at this point at the pinnacle of track and field amongst our peers. That you arrive at those that pinnacle. It's not for you just stay up there and say you're at the top, you know. You have a
Yeah.
responsibility for those who are around your, for lack of a better terminology, beside you. Huh? And that is if you are in a position, which is a motto I live by, instilled in me by my mother. If I'm in a position to help someone, then it's my obligation. True leadership says that it's not about what you acquire for yourself, but how do you allow others to partake? And because Jamaica finds itself at that situation, then we have an obligation to our Caribbean brothers and sisters that forms a part of our community. And it also bodes well to for our officials because you know we like to big up with chests and all that kind of stuff. Well, hey, it is another way of maintaining ensure that we maintain that legacy of leadership and
That's my word,
performance.
you know. You're using my favorite word. I might have to charge you. Legacy is my favorite word. And before you go anywhere else, there's an Olympian on the line. I don't know if you know the name, Dorothy Scott,
Yeah,
formerly of Very Technical. She
yeah.
says, "Hi, HP Irwin and everything else. Thanks, Irwin, for all you and your group is doing for the athletes. I have had meals
I know.
from from she said she has had meals from you and she enjoy it, but me upset because me come to the 10th one year, I'm here, so me can't get no meal because I'm not an athlete.
So
Anyway,
like that.
I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. But
I know, I know, I know, I
yeah,
know, I know.
she Dorothy Scott, former
Yeah.
Very Technical
We
staff
have a
member.
very strong affinity to very technical because
Yes,
the colonel means a lot to me. He's a person who inspired me and gave me a lot of support
mhm,
because in the early years, yeah, the support was not there. You know, we had to drag people along. We have dragged certain entities, and I can say it. I remember when we invited Grace Kelly to the table. They didn't see the vision. One person Grace Kelly saw the vision at the time, and that was Adrian too. Adrian Wallace, who was at one point the head of the J3As. He was the first person in Greece. And then there was a gentleman by the name of Tony Lawrence. And I remember Tony Lawrence because the first athlete who we started to give a prize to. And all right, because we identify a champion girl, every champion person was Elsa Goldburn from I think at the time she was from Dintil.
oh, Elva Goldberg, yes,
Elva,
man.
Elva, yes,
Yes,
from
from
Dintil.
Dintil.
Yes,
Dintil, yeah, yeah.
yes, and
Triple, look here, you need to put some respect on Elva name. Elva is a triple gold medal winner at Girls Champs
yeah man, yeah man,
1998.
yes,
Long jump, 100 and
yes,
200.
yes, yes, yes. I think in the NBA and others, what they call it, a great utility person who comes in and win.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Hmm.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
but so I look at today and I see where Grace is. Grace became the team sponsor at Penn Relays. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so we have had some good highlights on that. You know, the whole Team Jamaica Bickle is a brand that we guard and we'll fight for because we have a responsibility to our athletes first and foremost, and then to brand Jamaica.
Listen, man, Team Jamaica Bickle is a big deal. When you say pens, Team Jamaica Bickle comes to mind. When you talk about Team Jamaica Bickle, pens come to mind. And of course, Not too long from now, I'm going to ask you why Pens as your event. But how important is partnership and collaboration with other organizations and stakeholders to maximize resources and support?
Well, it's very important because it is also part of the wider diaspora engagement. We chose sports. I didn't do track and field. I didn't do sports. I mean, I can't say I never win no points with nobody or whatever. I love sports and the business side of it. So if you ask me how many races I've seen at Penn race, I can probably count on my 10 fingers because that's not my real interest. I love it when I go inside. My real interest is to make sure that the things are in place for athletes to do the best they can be, and even more so those who don't medal and all that, but to recognize they can use their talent to get that scholarship to go on and
Mm-hmm.
become good citizens of the world and buy them mother a house. That's it.
Indeed.
And
Yeah.
so the whole situation of partnership is very critical because it takes cash to care. If you don't have the cash, I'm gonna tell you, I'm thrilled with the accolades. I'm thrilled with all, and don't get me wrong, it helps. But at the end of the day, it takes cash to care. So we have to remain creative, building relationships. And so when we go to entities to solicit funds, we also have to go with a product
Yeah.
that entity recognize that they would like to be associated with. Because it's all part of what we call mutual reciprocity. That's how we operate. We don't go with an expectation with a handout at somebody have an ATM out there just giving us money. So no. When I go to a respective person we're soliciting from, we make sure we have a package that we're marketing to the person. And by the way, I want to categorically state this now. We do not prostitute our athletes, and I mean that not in the sexual sense. So there are some sponsors and people that say yes because they want them to jump up in a picture of them giving them $10 or them holding stuff in front. We do not promote that because that belongs to the respective athlete and those who are in charge of that athlete. We do not use them to one would say solicit, or one would say no because a person give them $10 and if we walk with it $10 over them for it. No, we don't do that. Respect do. We find other ways to make it work. So
Indeed.
sometimes we disqualify ourselves from certain sponsorship, but we do so because of respect for our athletes.
Something you're talking, and my eyes are getting teary because I'm very passionate about the athletes' welfare myself. And just by how you're talking about them and, in protecting them and all of that is what we need to do, especially our young athletes. We need to look out for them to ensure that they are first. We need to recognize that because if you take the athletes out of the equation, what do we have?
And let me tell you, and that is something too that our leaders must understand and respect.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
You because
Hmm.
you see, on any given day, just about every day, wherever our athletes are, they raise the flag. All right. No politician, no minister of government can claim that. All right. They don't have that potency. Or athletes or sports people have that potency. And
Hmm.
so that is why we have this terminal, or athletes or ambassadors. And that's why we have to treat them in an ambassadorial way.
I'm with you.
So I make no apologies to persons, and it's no disrespect. But you see, we do not only talk the talk, we
Walk.
walk the talk, you know, and we have demonstrated that. And if you ask me about disappointments, I'd say that we should be further than we are today in uplifting our.
We are going to get there. We are going to get there. But before we go there, sir, academics and sports
Mm.
is a winning combination
Oh
as far
yes,
as I'm
oh yes,
concerned.
oh yes,
A
oh
winning
yes,
combination. How
yes.
important is this to your organization to integrate educational components to support the holistic development of our young athletes.
Critical. And that's why, I think a person comes to mind now, and I say it's a project, a human project with great deal of love and admiration and respect. He's like my son. Several years ago, we were instrumental in getting Petersfield High School. And let me just put a disclaimer here now. I have a high propensity for country schools, yeah? All right, so let me just get that out right now. Don't mean that I discriminate.
I know,
All right.
right?
Petersfield does not or did not have the kind of support mechanism that name brands do. But they were demonstrating their prowess at champs. And they made a call to me about 3 weeks out of Penn, or 2 weeks, 2 weeks out of Penn, that they want to come to Penn. I said, really? And now you're calling me? I remember the Saturday evening. There's some things I can remember, Heather, and some things I can't, all right? But this one stuck out. And it was Mr. Woolry who called me. I said, it's a clear, we love to come to Penn's. All right, all right. No, right away my mind start working out. I don't have the money, but I think that God has gifted me the privilege to know how to go about joining hands. And I made one call because I was going to my mind, because right away I'm working out. Who do I match? I come from Westmoreland. Who come from Westmoreland up here in position? The name came up. Patrick Jolly. Patrick Jolly at the
I
time
know that name. I
was
know
the,
that name.
was the president of Tower Isles Patty, the oldest patty company in the United States. A good friend of ours, because Tower Isles have been a support of ours over 25 years. And I reached out to Patrick and said, Patrick, I have a project here for you. He said, what? I said, well, Petersfield. Yeah, you don't know that. Yeah, man, I know them Pete's. I said, they want to come to Penn, and I think it's perfect for you to help me with this. So he just says to me how much I need.
Wow.
I don't usually, one of my Achilles heel is that I don't usually ask for everything I want from one person because I want to go back to the person. And then I reached out to, at the time, she's now the Consul General of New York, Alcyon Wilson. She's a businesswoman. And I said to her, I need your support. And she said, Erwin, you come to me and things like this, I don't question it because you'd have done your due diligence right away. And coupled with Team Jamaica, BICKLE's largest, we're able to bring Petersfield to come to Penn. And they came and did well. The following year, a youngster out of that group, and they were coming to Penn. And the athletes would come around and, avail themselves to help, which is good because we try to instill in these athletes the importance of volunteerism. Because we have to let them know that all these people around here take time off from them job. They're not a picnic go school in Jamaica. You're not their mother and father, but they regard you as such as their children. So respect that. And you see Mr. Hosang over there, and people say the little Chinese man, no disrespect, I carry the water upon him head. Him have more money than the population in Western Jamaica. All right? All right.
Wow.
So listen to this now. So we got them up. And a young man out of the group, after several years of coming up, showed interest and would avail himself after the second year. We would have these meetings. One year, a couple of years, we'd see up in a place called Valley Forge. And the city up there recognized us and would put in have a big to-do for us. Welcome. I went to the meeting. I took student athletes with us. I took coaches. I took principals because, a litany of the representation from Jamaica. So that they can see that a place like Valley Forge, which has the largest sports tourism product in the United States, Valley Forge, was hosting Team Jamaica. And just to go off on a sidebar on that and remind me where I was here, Heather. Valley Forge that year, I remember, was also Philadelphia was vying for the NFL draft or whatever. Because of our involvement in Valley Forge, I'm going for a couple of years. Valley Forge Chamber of Commerce, conventional, whatever they call themselves, they became a sponsor at the Penn Relays. And their tagline was Valley Forge, the home of Team Jamaica BICKLE. All right? And as a result of that, they were ethical and fair and said to us that our impact on the town of Valley Forge, or whatever they call it, Valley Forge, was $1.2 million. And as a result, we got a rebate check. All right? Okay. Now I go back to Daniel Cope, this youngster came to the meetings. He went out and he did well at Penn and he got a half scholarship, which sometimes we discourage kids from that coming because it could be
Mm-hmm.
detrimental if you don't have a plan. But he got a half scholarship to go to Cloud Community College, which is somewhere in Kansas, way behind God, where the little prairie house was filmed. I said, boy, a man from a man from Petersfield, where it's 90 degrees, going up them place where it's snow all in a winter, all in a summer. But he was determined.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I observed the determination in this young man. He did not have all the academics, but he said to me he wanted the opportunity. We invested in him. We invested in him. I got some friends together, invested in his transportation to get there, his clothing, and all the things required. Counseling to make sure him having, but by the time he landed, he had his laptop and everything ready. And we said to him, his academics is critical to him being emancipated from that place. He went there and he broke all their records. And after he was ready to graduate, I think 8 or 10, what do you call them, Big Ten schools, offered him full ride. Full ride. They come and pick him up and fly. I didn't even know them things happen. Them fly him around and all that things. All expense paid. He chose Clemson because we said to him, choose a school where you can get curry goat and rice and peas. Because
Jamaican food.
yes, but it's more than that. What I meant was that there is a family structure.
Yeah.
All right. He chose Clemson. I spoke to Lennox and Mr. Elliott and all of that. And he went to Clemson and he broke records there. In Boston recently in the indoor, he became the 11th ranked thrower in the United States. His name is Daniel Cope. He
Someone
graduated.
someone just posted it here.
All
Let me
right.
just put
All
it up
right.
there.
Ah,
My audience know
all
their
right.
stuff. Yes,
Yes.
man.
He's
Yeah.
graduating in August. We arranged that his mother and father and family coming up and we were going down to celebrate today. That to me is bigger than a gold medal
Yeah.
because he's now committed and he recognizes what has been done for him and he will be paying it forward. He's like my son, he's like our son. Those are the success stories. The same thing go for the Crystal McGregors of the world, Dr. Crystal McGregors of the world. These are persons who have come through our system. So I celebrate Olympians and world champions, but I have a greater deal of celebration for these youngsters who are now in a position to buy their mother a house.
Oh my God. I tell you, this is how I like when we talk about the athletes, the passion and the love. And I just love it. And before we go any further, I have some more Olympians who join us on the line. Do you know the name Ethelyn Tate?
I've heard that name before. I never met
Well,
her.
well, Ethelyn Tate is an Olympian. She's on the live also. Do you know the name Lilith Hodges?
Yes, I know those names. I've
Yes, St.
heard
Mary
them.
High, St.
Yes,
Mary High
yes,
School, one
yes,
girls champs twice. Of
yes, yes.
course, Ethelyn from Veer, one girls champs 21 times. So welcome, ladies. These ladies, they're here every week. They're big, big, big supporters of the program. But Penn started as far back in 1895, they would say. A hundred,
128,
a hundred,
28 years, yes.
yes, 128 years. The oldest and biggest track and field event in the United
And
States,
the second oldest in the world. And
in
of
the
course,
world.
and of course ours is the third.
There you go. You are a part of this legacy. I told you, my favorite word is legacy. You're a part of this legacy. Tell me, just tell me about the emotions that you're feeling, knowing that you are a part of this brand. What was the motivation in choosing Penn?
All right. The record states that the Penn Relays is probably the largest gathering of Jamaicans outside of Jamaicans for a sporting activity consistently.
Yeah.
It's here in the Northeast where lots of Jamaicans and Caribbean people reside. It's hosted in the sixth or seventh largest city in the United States, Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. It has a burgeoning Caribbean, Jamaican Caribbean community in Philadelphia that Team Jamaica BICKLE have spurred and encouraged the formation and recognition of Jamaicans and Caribbean nationals in Philadelphia. We are also very political, meaning that we recognize the role we must play in our community. And so we form alliances and we have our tentacles into city government and all that kind of jive. Because we have to make sure that that aspect of our existence, we leverage it. You asked me about the emotions. This year, as you know, Jamaica celebrates 60 years. Kingston College, Herb McKinley bringing Kingston College, and Team Jamaica BICKLE 30. I look back at those 30 years and I can share with you some highlights. When we first started at Penrelays, the officials at Penrelays had no reason to communicate with us. We were like an outlier, you know. It didn't stop us. It didn't stop us. That aspect of likability in the United States still exists. All right, it didn't stop us. We kept pushed on. In 1999, sorry, that was the first time emotions overwhelmed me. And help me remember this guy's name now. He started the Gibson relays.
Who is that?
Pennycook, right? Is that not Pennycook?
Teddy
Teddy,
McCook.
Teddy McCook. The Saturday morning of the Penn Relays in 1999, as a result of some things that transacted, and I negotiated with Penn because they had to give me a favor that day. And they asked me what I wanted. And I looked up at Franklin Field, the oldest state operating stadium in the United States. I looked up at all those flags of universities and all those big flags, and I said, why isn't our flag up there? That morning, Saturday morning, Ted and I looked up the north side and the south side. So you could see it from the north side where many Jamaicans sit, look across. The Jamaican flag flew for the first time. It was the smallest flag up there. But to me, it was the biggest flag ever fly down there. That was the first time. I remember looking at Teddy and tears came to his eyes. And he told me why, because he said this was a place that they didn't like us, but we came. We came and we conquered. We're still conquering.
Oh yes, we're still. Yep.
You know, no. Take it a little further now. In 2012, the first foreign leader ever to go to Penn Relays was also the first minister of government ever to go to the Penn Relays, and that was Portia Simpson Miller. And I share this with you that it was also the year that Time had ranked her 100, whatever. So there was a sense of admiration for her
And pride and
in
everything.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We had partnership with the Lomax Foundation at the time. Mr. Lomax had business in Jamaica, one of the richest men in Philadelphia. If you remember your music well, you remember this guy here, and you'll come back to me in a minute. But we also had the editor and owner of the Philadelphia Tribune, and Mr. Kenny Gamble. You know your music? Gamble and Huff. These are big money men there. We got all three together and had them host one of the biggest reception in Philadelphia that Friday evening for Prime Minister Portia Simpson, because she was now the first leader of sort, and Black people was very happy that a woman in her sort was there. It was awesome. I remembered when she was introduced in the field at Penn Relays. NBC went live and zoomed in on her. My heart just went on.
2012 was a big year for us. We were celebrating Jamaica 50.
Yes.
We went to the London Olympic
Yes.
Games and
Yes.
we did great things.
Yes.
You
and,
know,
it started at Penn.
Yeah. 2012 was a big year for Jamaica.
And for the first time, pen relays was celebrating Jamaica. And it was then that the flag was officially flown and will be flown there in perpetuity. As a result of that, we ushered in our Caribbean brothers and sisters who come to the pen relays, and their flags are up there too. You see, so you see, being at the top, it's not about you alone being at the top, it's who you
Yes.
take with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we were to see in 2022 another distinction. We brought the second prime minister to the pen relays.
I was there.
All right. And that was another situation. He was hosted and toasted in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So when we look at some hallmarks off the track that helps to generate the support for us as a people, or athletes have been at the forefront. And that's why I say to you that enough can never be done. We still have a long way to ensure. And at the same time, you have to work hard to assure their welfare. Because the
Indeed.
welfare of the athletes, Heather, is a business of sports.
I look at you. Don't have to tell me that. I know that very well. I
And the
know,
business of
and I
sports,
preach it.
yeah, and the business of sports is the welfare of the athletes.
I preach it every day. I preach it
Yeah.
every. My audience can tell you that's all I talk about. The athletes being the most important asset of the
Mm.
industry.
But this is only we want to seem to know that at home. And our leaders don't seem to know that. We
And we're
get
going to and we're going to talk about that a little bit
yeah,
too.
yeah. We
We're
get
going to talk.
excited at champs and all that, but what happens
What
afterwards?
are we doing? What happens after? But before we get there, how does your organization host the Jamaican athletes on a typical, just run us through on a typical 3 day of pens? It's three Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What is it
No,
like?
it's actually Monday through Monday
Are
because we
you
keep them
serious?
because we have athletes coming from Monday and we are hosting them. Because once they land into Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen, and this is our second or third year, we have put in place now an insurance policy for our kids. So once they land in Philadelphia, until the time they leave, they're covered for their whatever could happen to them. All right. Also, once they land, our operating team goes into motion to ensure that all the food they want, we're gonna solicit, we're gonna source it, we're gonna solicit funding for it, they'll have it. And we're also gonna make sure that we
You're
have
going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry,
yeah,
Erwin.
we're gonna make sure our medical and chiropractic teams are in place and our nurses. And also we have on standby people, our friends in the police department and our legal team too. You know, and our counselors. Those I get off a meeting just now because we're now strategizing our transportation, how we move them securely and safely, timely to events. And these are people who are taking time off from their job. I have the dubious responsibility of being a taskmaster, and they know I don't. I mean, that's just how it is. We can drink a beer afterwards. But
Yeah,
the point is
indeed.
that we are committed. We've been having meetings now since January to plan events because we have to fundraise too.
Yes,
Like I
indeed,
said,
indeed.
take cash to care. We just came off a massive event last
Don't
Sunday.
leave
You know,
that alone. We're coming right back to
you
that.
know,
Let
and,
us
and but
let us
we're
talk
not Heather.
about the
But Heather,
food.
you see all the people watching right now wanting to log into our website and we'll make a contribution because
Yes,
I
please.
don't, I don't want to take up my time when I could be on the phone begging some other people money. All right,
Yes,
I'm only
yes,
kidding, but
yes.
respect you. It takes
I
care.
I hear about the food. I hear Aileen talk about the food. Aileen was honored last year by
Yes,
you,
yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
she talk about the food.
Yeah, man.
Tell me about the food. I want to hear about the food.
Well, because see, I can cook too, because I give a case in point. One year when Usain Bolt came to Penn, when was that? 2010? It was, eh?
2010,
Yeah.
2010.
I made sure that we had some yam ship up from cockpit country. All right. And we get some nice saltfish and we roast yam back there. And we had some Caucasian kids would come down and want to know what Usain Bolt was eating. So everyone was telling me yellow yam and all. They took the yellow yam and they put it on them head, them kiss it, them try bite it, them hug it up, take pictures. And it was interesting And that's why sometimes I say that we have so many low hanging fruits, opportunities I'm talking about, that we don't exploit or leverage. The same kids who came down there, we started asking them, what is their music? And they said, you know, Bob Marley? They start singing a Bob Marley song. So I said, you know what, Trenchtown Rock? Yeah, somebody run the back. Man, I know they find a rock, so I said, this is Trenchtown Rock. The kids are willing to buy it.
Listen, when we're walking into the arena, you can hear the Jamaican music playing
Yeah,
from the outside.
yeah,
I've been there twice, and
yeah,
that has been my experience
yeah,
because
yeah, because,
of
because we control the carnival village.
yeah, the carnival. You can smell the food, you
Oh, yeah,
smell the food,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you hear the Jamaican music. And normally
yeah.
we have to park and walk far,
Yes, yes, yes.
and you
But you
can
see, but you see,
smell the food.
a team Jamaica BICKLE is where you'll find the authentic Jamaican food at the time. Where we used to do that because, like I said, we'd have, you know, Mr. Osang would make sure it's a 5-star restaurant. We set up there in the mornings. I give an example. First of all, we get a menu from our coaches in Jamaica. So what is it that they'd like, and we try as best as possible to accommodate. And so we'll be frying dumpling, and people down there need the down the dough and all that, ackee and sawfish, all those things. So I remember one year now, I think one of the persons who used to provide me some of this information, Lorna, I forgot her last name now. She was a coach from Alpha, and I reached out to her and they said I wanted stewed chicken on the menu. So I remember going to a Saturday meeting and I told them stewed chicken. Everybody in the room looked at me and think I was crazy. And they said, you sure? So I said, yeah, man, have it. So they had the stewed chicken that morning. It was a Thursday morning, the first morning. And Team Guyana went in first. And boy, them suck onto the chicken. I
And
don't
burn
think
the pot.
I don't think enough stewed chicken was left for the Jamaican teams. But I'm just sharing with you how
Yeah,
how far and wide our team is willing to go to satisfy. You know?
indeed,
And
indeed.
and I remember Miss Clayton at the time she was going to what school now? What school she went to? Um anyway, I can't remember. But 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a call and she's asking me, Mr. Claire, you have any food down there? So we always we always have to have our snacks and our food. You know, we are cognizant of those things.
Listen, man, you can smell the food from a mile, and sometimes we have to walk a mile to get to the gate to go in.
Oh yes,
And
oh
you
yes.
can, and sometimes you're out in the line, and you'll hear people who are not Jamaican saying, "Is that the Jamaican food? Is that the Jamaican food?"
Yeah.
They're so into the Jamaican
One,
culture.
one,
It
one funny thing,
is.
is that our Mark, who provides the facilities of food and all that, came to us frantically one morning and asked if we can cook them a pot of oxtail.
Oh my God. You know what I want to ask? I want to know why is it that when Americans or foreigners discover that you're from Jamaica, they ask me three things. I'm going to tell you the three things. First, they ask, can you cook oxtail? Can you cook curry goat and curry chicken? And the next question they ask, how does Jamaica run so fast? Once they discover that you're from Jamaica, they're asking you about the food and they're asking you about track and field. It is
Hmm.
amazing.
Yep,
It is amazing.
yep, indeed,
We
indeed.
are a big brand. We have no idea the size brand that Jamaica is. Jamaica track and field and Jamaica, how big it is. But a lot of Jamaicans come to turn up at Penn in
Mhm.
terms of the athletes. Let's stick with the athletes now. Do you vet all the athletes or just a selected batch?
All right, no, we not all the first of all, the there are we provide a safe environment for athletes, and the safe environment was from a standpoint of hotel, right? We provide some hotel.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
go out, and we go out and purchase discounted hotel rooms. All right, and which is a significant expense that we have to put out. All right. So there are schools that stay within our enclave. I would say probably 70% of all the schools. There are still some schools who have their connections and feel that they are able to get better deals based on, because yeah, I understand they have to find ways to limit their expenses. Huh?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
I always say to them, be very careful, because having kids in people's homes and you don't know who lives there, especially girls, is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Especially you don't know who lives in the basement. And then you have the security situation. So we try to discourage that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some schools who feel that they should be secluded. Okay, fine, that's cool. But at the tent, or in this case, where we provide our meals, it's open to all.
Okay.
All right. It's very difficult at times though to manage those who are coming, because Jamaica still don't get it that when you work together, good things happen. You know, and we're still bringing them along. We have seen significant improvement. We work a lot with ISA to make sure that that is the case. So we have to prepare. Like this year, we're preparing probably for about 600 athletes, inclusive of Caribbean athletes. And
Okay. The senior athletes are involved, or just high school?
the senior athletes in this case will be those who are GC Foster, UA, and Michael, who will come up. Um,
Okay. University.
Yeah, the professional athletes would have been taken care by Penn, but they come by the Penn sometime from time to time, or wherever we are. Um, Unfortunately, the senior athletes, we need to have more of those senior athletes coming around the junior athletes too. We need to have more of that. I,
Say it again, sir. Please say it again.
yeah, man. Our senior athletes, is a very few, the aliens of the world, the what's her name? 800 meters runner from Manchester. What's her name?
Natoya
Not
Gould.
Toya, she's always every year because she love food, so she'll come.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
um,
Aileen love the food.
from time to time before she became ultra popular, Elaine would pass by. Well, Shellyan was never a runner at Penn per se, so she's normally there on the Grace side, because
Mm-hmm,
she's an
mm-hmm.
ambassador for Grace. But we do not have enough of our senior athletes coming around where our young athletes are. We don't have enough. I'm disappointed in that. But then I don't work a lot with senior athletes, so therefore, I'm
Could it be a situation where they are not invited
no,
to
no, no, no,
be
no, no,
around them?
no, 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 no. They were there at one point. There's no. It's like somebody said to me, said that politicians don't need an invitation to go dead yard. You understand me? It is a matter of speaking of your interest. Johan Blake will come through. All right. But there's not a lot more that will come through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that you don't need an invitation. And those who will come through, they'll come through and they'll have a good time. Because many times they come and say, well, I get some food. And the interesting part here is that many times we'll take food from where we are to the field where they are. So they know. Yes, I'm just saying that, it will be good if more of them come.
Yeah, yeah, they need to mingle a little bit
Yeah,
more with
yeah,
the
yeah.
juniors,
Yeah,
and
man. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
I know
because
that
they need it. They need it.
I know that you're making the big bucks and all that. You need to also pay it forward.
Yes, yes, indeed,
And I'm
indeed.
not being, yes, I'm being critical, but if we are to maintain the winning tradition and show the kind of love and camaraderie that we know we have and we do, yeah,
Hmm.
it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It's 30 years, your 30th years. 30 years is a big number. This, I'm sure this started before you had here. So it's a big, big number. What do you have in store for the Jamaican athletes this year? And for those of you who don't know, the Pens Relay will be next weekend, April 25th to 27th, next weekend. Mr. Team Jamaica BICKLE, what do you have in store for the athletes on your 30th anniversary, sir? Just tell me a little bit of it.
Well, let's put it this way. Um, we have we have of course a dedicated group of folks who will be ensuring that we provide for all our athletes.
Indeed.
This year we are doing something that has never happened before, and we will be taking into Franklin Field for the first time in an official way, where we'll be hosting what we call a TJB 30 Reggae Vibe pop up.
What you saying?
So we'll usher in one of New York's top disc jocks, Road International, who will vibe up the place. And I must tell you that this is all in concert with the University of Pennsylvania, and and also also we'll be having as our ambassador. We started an ambassador program recently where we mix music. We bring in our entertainers with music. The first was Romain Virgo. In the past, we've had concerts with Coco T and Dean Fraser and Richie Stevens. And Romain had handed off the baton to Christopher Martin, but due to COVID, was not able to. So Chris Martin will be at the show this year. So we'll be popping the stadium for about 20-25 minutes with some reggae music, and we want to close
And
it
I'm,
off.
I'm and I'm sure when he touch on this song, I'm a big deal. The place I go pull up. When he hit that song, we say I'm a big deal. The entire place I go mash up. But Mr. Clare, after 30 years, how were you able to sustain this thing that seemed to be getting better and better? Because I'm following you, I'm watching you. 30 years, how were you able to maintain this outstanding brand of yours?
Our volunteers, the respect and the foundation that we'd have laid, consistent deliverability, ethics, transparency. It's not just about pen relays, but we also host and manage defibrillators in school, and we've given over 125. We have assisted athletes here in the United States who have run afoul of the law and needed legal support to be exonerated, and they've gotten them exonerated.
Wow.
We have provided assistance during COVID to athletes who were sports persons who were challenged. We provide counseling in Jamaica. I can't say what we do in Jamaica, but we have some folks in Jamaica.
That's fine.
Um, and the mere fact that we have attracted a caliber of individuals who are part of what we do, they come with their own brands too. We partner with VP Records. We have established a new link recently with the Second Round Foundation, which is Jalen Brunson's foundation of the New York Knicks. His grandparents are Jamaicans. And we've been working to establish a legacy project at GC Foster. We have donated in excess of over $100,000, $125,000 or more to GC Foster since we started. So when you look at the plethora of things that we've done, and we also recognize that any sporting team that comes into New York and having challenges, this team Jamaica BICKLE they call. And we try to source and make things meet. And this goes for the reggae boys, the reggae girls, whether it be the hockey team, the ice hockey team, or the bobsleigh team, you name it. The netballers we have supported in Jamaica, and the volleyballers. Lacrosse we have supported. We were very instrumental in Jamaica last year becoming one. I think they came eighth in the lacrosse competition in San Diego. And the same thing goes for basketball. When Simone Francis was alive, we worked with her. So we look at it, and we are very guarded and cognizant of our partnerships because we are mindful of the brand and its image.
Indeed.
Grace Kennedy is a major supporter of ours. We've worked with Digicel, we've worked with Taurus Board, with Jampro. We're the first to bring the stock exchange to the United States there in Philadelphia at the Penn Relays. We have a host symposium on doing business in Jamaica in Philadelphia. So you name it, we have played.
You have done it.
We took officials of the Penn Relays to Jamaica to build out the experience and the relationship, and we see it paying off already. Just this year we had Aaron Robinson there in Jamaica, to so it can be sensitized as to what is taking place and some where we're coming from, so to understand the passion. So
Yes, indeed.
when we make certain requests, you can understand that this is not dubious requests, but they're real, you know. And we also understand the economics of pen, and that is something too that we now have to build out on. How do we make pen more practical for economics to flow back? you know. And so yeah, we and at the same time promoting brand Jamaica.
One Jamaica, I call it. You just you just had your annual fundraising event. The theme, sneakers and tie, black tie. Who came up with that theme? Because I don't know. I love the theme. When I heard it, when I saw the flyer, I'm like, cool. Who came up with that theme? Tell me a little bit about the event.
It's a creativity within our organization. We have, we like I said, we have professionals that work with us, and we recognize we had to try something, you know, and so that was basically it.
And it worked.
It worked, you know, and the situation is that we have persons who are always thinking as if there's no box. So we don't say we think as if we think outside the box. There's no box,
There's no box,
you know.
indeed.
And so that idea at first didn't, people were like, yeah, but as it went on, it became, I mean, we partnered with Scene. In fact, I want to thank Scene TV for making us even broader because it was being shown in many places. And
It's how you market your product. But
indeed,
while I
indeed.
while I was watching, I like the bidding section because there was a bid that started at $500 for, I think, 3 nights at the Pegasus. I mean, I was doing everything to bid from virtually because those 3 nights would do me well at the Olympic trials in June. Is it too late? Is it
Yes,
too late
ma'am.
to bid?
Yes, ma'am. It gone.
I know somebody got
Yeah,
it, but
yeah, yeah. And so we have those relationships, and we take them very seriously. We're very mindful. We don't take them for granted. You know, and I think that's what that bodes us well. So I say
indeed.
to folks who are watching you know and listen to what you do, and people like yourselves who are influencers, we thank you for the love, because many a times it is through platforms like these that the word goes out. It's not about 10 million people watching. It's about those 10 persons who are committed, who gets another 10 person. That's why I like those kind of building blocks. I don't like a blaze.
Yeah,
It's a
indeed.
spark. I'm more interested in the spark, because from the spark, a fire will come,
A
and
fire.
it will be sustainable.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much for that. But we've talked about a lot of the goodies. In everything, there are challenges. Tell me about some of the. It's 30 years, so you must have had some challenges. Tell me about some of those challenges and how you overcome, and how you grow from them.
One that really jumped out at me is a couple of years ago. We had a challenge to our name, and we are registered and all that, and we still have a situation in our society where people seek opportunities through picking the fruit and not nurturing the root.
Yeah.
And it did cost us monies to defend, and I made a concerted effort to defend it because this is not Irwin Clear. This is a brand now that has a significance, a meaningful responsibility to our athletes. It has to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
And so if somebody comes to pilfer and want to do some things, and it's like me saying to you, you go into a stadium and the stadium is a hygiene here because of sponsorship and all that. And you come in with your flyers and start distributing. That is not cool, you know. And so we as a people have to get away from that.
Yes.
Respect other people's boundaries and what
Mm-hmm.
their areas of operation. And so we had to do that. I had to raise monies outside of our regular fundraising because I didn't want to use monies that would have raised to help our kids to go at this. But this was part of our operation. If you can't defend your turf, then you're
Mm-hmm.
not worthy of your existence.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that, and we did that, and I look back at it now, it was worthwhile. It was worthwhile, but it was I was kind of saddened by that. That there be people who look at, and this comes from our community. It's not like say somebody in the house. It's our community,
Oh boy, I tell you.
and so we prevailed. You know, we lost some ground, but we prevailed, and we came back.
Somebody said ambush marketing.
That was the word I was looking for. Yeah,
Yes, man. Osmond Dixon,
yeah,
Mr.
ambush
Saint
marketing.
Jago.
Yeah,
Yes.
ambush marketing.
Yeah.
And we came back stronger. You know, and so I say to anyone that you believe in what you do,
Yeah.
you have the track record, protect it,
Mm-hmm.
guard it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of sinister operators out there. You know.
Indeed, indeed. You have a great team of volunteers. I've seen them at work because I'm in one of your WhatsApp group, and I've seen your team working 24/7. How much of your success would you say that your team has contributed to?
And all of it because we're one team. You
Indeed.
know. And I am privileged to be the person who is the front person, but the real work is done people beside me and around me.
Yeah.
And I take to my responsibility a level of passion that I don't expect others to do, because you see, you have to define what it is that you take to the table.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I is there's sacrifices one makes, and sometimes they're not viable sacrifice, because when you look at what you put aside, because it's not a Team Jamaica, because it's not your normal organization. We're not governed by Robert's rules. Nobody have a time for Robert's rules. It's not popularity that determines what we do.
Indeed.
And you don't come and give an idea and leave. You don't come and give a suggestion and leave somebody else to do it. You come and you give a suggestion. Even though you may not have the skill set to do it, you must still have some skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't come and tell me something and then I must run with it, because it's not that kind of organization. And we don't always have the resources. Like our labor of love, our function. I put together recently. This all came out of an entity called Lawyers and Friends for Team Jamaica BICKLE. And we morphed it into labor of love, because it is indeed a labor of love to widen the circle. So we have a group of professionals, which are, on the periphery of Team Jamaica BICKLE, who does the fundraising, So, and we have members yet, but it's really an external group, that's their function, because that is what makes the engine run. So you have to make sure that such an entity is in place for that. You know, and after 30 years, I also recognize that we're at a point now, and it's been for a while, but we have to make sure we get the right persons to infuse it with new leadership. That is important.
Indeed.
Because if it is to exist and live and provide for the expectations that comes from our athletes, we have to make sure that we continue to re-engineer ourselves. So there is
Indeed.
succession leadership plans in place, and it's just a matter of time when we shift roles and we transition to other factors, because there are other areas to build out. I envision this organization now where we'll have a separate arm just dealing with how we deal with foundations, because
Oh.
we have to find new streams
Mm-hmm.
of monies, and you can't keep going to the same sponsors. Oh, they're fatigued and tired of seeing you.
Yeah, burnt out.
Yeah, I'm fatigued. Sponsorship
Bef-
fatigue. You see, so we have to continue to find new ways of,
yeah.
and that to me is the frontier that I want to spend more of my time on. And the
Indeed,
operational
indeed.
side, there are people who can take care of that.
Before we segue into another area, I just want to say hi to some people for joining us. Wet Sundays is in the building. Good night. Welcome, DJ Rudy, number one assistant, Kerry, Marlene, Kino, everyone who are joining us. Thank you very much. Erwin, sport as a business. Are we taking sport as a business seriously?
Not us. Everybody else is, but not us. I think we are comfortable being spectators. And why do I say that? Well, think about it now. The heydays of Usain Bolt, we were spectators. We weren't thinking about what happens next. Do you remember the last time Usain Bolt ran at the stadium? There was not a shirt. There was not a memorabilia that I could take and say I was there.
You're going to trigger me now. You are triggering me now because this is my conversation that I've had every day with my peers, to the point where my peers telling me to stop stress myself out. Nothing you could not get, not even a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't own a t-shirt with any of our athletes.
You see, so what I'm saying here, and let me also put it, I'm not discounting the guy who have some shirt to sell and print it.
No.
I want authentic merchandise.
Exactly.
I will pay
Exactly.
for it. There are people who will pay for it because
Why are we not into merchandise sale? If I go to the stadium and I feel I am in the vibe and I want to put on a Jamaican shirt, I cannot get a shirt in the stadium to buy.
well,
Why
listen,
are we not?
you see, let me. There are shirts there, and I have to, and that's what I keep saying.
Listen, I am a very
Okay,
very I
okay,
go to
okay.
the stadium very often.
You
No,
know
but
where
the
I'm going
point, but what I want us to talk about is the business of sport and why we're not taking it
because
seriously. We don't
because
see gate receipt. We don't see gate receipt as important. We don't see merchandise selling as important. We don't see concessionary as important.
well, you see, until the environment in which we exist and the module is changed, you will still have the party shop mentality take place. For one, I think the whole stadium that we have there, we have outgrown that. Retrofitting it and putting new skin on or something, I don't know. There needs to be a mindset change. You know, I go to the stadium and I enjoy being there, but I'm appalled as to how the whole food concession area is the same it has been since that stadium opened. All right, it is confused. It is confused. What I call it now? I forgot the term. But you just go down there, you don't want to be there. All right. And in the midst of all of that, man, it's like Carnation Market. And no disrespect to Carnation, it's a culture and so whatever, but not at the stadium. Um, Also, what I'm saying is this: the business of sports must take us to the level where we don't have this 100% dependency that government have to do. If you look, there's something to say about US track and field, which I'm a member of, and I'm a member of it because I want to know what they're doing. And they have this, and I pay my dues. They have this thing, that says America does not send its athletes to the Olympics. Americans do. I repeat, America, which means taxpayers' money,
Yep.
don't send athletes to the Olympics. Americans, through philanthropy, corporate, and creativity, does. It makes for a more hygiene, more thoughtful, more professional, more business-like approach. Now, Jamaica's corporate may not be as sophisticated as the United States, but there are creative people in Jamaica.
I totally agree with you
All
on
right.
that.
Once you have totality and expectation of government, it comes with strings attached and certain scenarios that sometimes don't make sense. But it's the political side. And no disrespect there. But I think that if you follow Carol Beckford and what she has been talking about,
Oh, yes.
then you have to wonder, why aren't they listening to her?
Yep,
Meanwhile,
I ask the same question every day. Carol
mhm,
Beckford is one of my role model. I admire that woman so much because she has good ideas. So I don't know, why are you guys not listening, Erwin?
you see, the point is this: is that um,
Sports tourism.
we hear about it, that it makes for a good terminology to speak about. But sports tourism is not just playing golf. All right, Jamaica has more significant assets than that. Think about it, that in 2024, in the capital city of tourism in the Caribbean, Montego Bay, where we have Catherine Hall, for the past, what, 7 years, there's no track?
Oh my word.
Think about it, that in Falmouth, Chillon, where we have a stadium that does stadium like a white elephant, from the parish where Usain Bolt is has comes from, and you can stay there and look at the cruise harbor and see all them things and all the monstrosities of hotels building up all over the place. And even at that the place they don't even have a name on it to do
But
something.
look at this now. Look at this. Most of our athletes are from Central Jamaica
You call
schools.
country, just a country.
Very
Country,
technical
yeah,
country.
yeah.
Country. And I am saying, why is it that we don't have some mini stadiums in one in Central, Veer,
Listen,
Manchester, all of those schools down there? Why we don't have one in the East to serve St. Mary, Portland, St. Thomas, and so forth. So when there are regional championships, the people in the community can come out and support instead of everybody coming to Kingston.
listen, listen.
Why
From
can't we have that?
from where I am in New York, in a 5 mile, less than 5 mile radius, I can find more sporting
Mm-hmm,
infrastructure than there are in Jamaica.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's no track after you leave. There's no areas that you can speak of after you leave Angels, St. Catherine. Nothing.
The people in Eastern Champs should not be coming to the National Stadium.
Western Champ should not be coming to VC
Western
Foster.
Championship should not be coming to GC Foster. None
Wait,
of the regional
wait.
championships should not be coming to the major
But,
stadium.
wait, I have always
And
said
this
this.
is how you build community. This is how you build community and you get the community involved. Have the regional championships in the community and get the people in the community come support their children.
But but here's this now. When you look at what tourism means for Jamaica, and I spoke of the monstrosities of hotels, I don't mean it negatively. But I am wondering if our leaders, when they go to, like, there's a big hotel called Princess now gone down there in Hanover somewhere there, or even any of the big hotels, that when they come in to build these things, what is the trade-off here? The impact study that's done on the communities and the areas. Don't they stop and say, but wait, do we have enough schools? They have the apparatus. But no, whoa, Jamaica is a country that sports is so important. Maybe we should build a track here. Nobody not think like that. And not take much because them have had all the heavy equipment down there building all these things. Then you can go flatten out this place and put up a stadium, put up 5,000 seats and
And this is,
done.
and you just hit the nail on the head. The stadium, it doesn't have to be a big stadium. I went to the meet in Miramar 2 weeks ago, and they only had stands on both sides. So you could sit and look right across at the other
Yeah,
stands
yeah,
because when you have these mini stadiums within the community, you're not going to have 10,000 people turning out.
you can
You
bring
just
seats.
need a mini stadium.
Yeah,
So who want to come and support their children? How many people from Eastern Jamaica is going to travel to the national stadium to Eastern Champs
not practical.
to watch their children compete?
Not
Not a
practical.
lot of them.
Yeah, not practical.
So set up each region in such a way that when we have regional championship, it is held within the communities, and then when we have boys and girls champs, you bring everybody into the main stadium. Why can't we build some mini stadium, at least two or three mini stadiums with 7,000 seats?
But you see again, it goes back down to the wherewithal. and whether or not the commitment is there, and whether or not you see, because we still would have to depend on government. Government needs to come with a more strategic approach that is not politically slanted. I mean, obviously they do things to see where they can get the most publicity and pictures. Until we move away from
We
that,
need to think more about country. We need to have the mindset about country, about our legacy, about country. I mean, every year we are seeing right now the fastest high school girl right now, Tiana Lee Terrelong, who is a student at the Edwin Allen High School. She's from St. Mary. She is from St. Mary. Aileen Bailey is from St. Mary. Lilith Hodges from St. Mary. Jackie Pusey is from St. Mary. Beverly McDonald. And we have all of these great athletes coming from Eastern Jamaica. And there's nothing in Eastern Jamaica to represent these people. Most of our Olympians are from central schools. Someone just said on the live, Milo Western Relay is now in central Jamaica.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it is not a central Jamaica product.
Let me tell you again. We're sitting here beating the dead horse, but the point here is this. Point here is this: is that I believe the kind of monies that the Grace Kennedys of the world will spend on a champs, maybe 1 or 2 years, we need to pull back, spend that money, and build what we're talking about, a mini stadium, something tangible.
You just
Because
need
you see,
something, a mini stadium.
yeah, man. Okay, you see, look at this now. How many years Edwin Allen win champs or Homewood? There's no track around there.
No track in that
They're still
region.
running a
Look,
mud pit.
look at Veer Technical that has
Very
won
technical, yes.
21
Yeah,
titles.
yeah.
And Veer Technical has more Olympian than any other school.
And more pen relay records than
And
anybody.
more pen relay records.
Yeah,
Right now, Veer Technical still have 4x8
yeah, yes,
pen
yeah,
record
yes.
with
The,
Ivy
po-
Stern and Company.
the point is this: is that until we have a czar put in charge of sports and give him the wherewithal to make it happen without politics, we're gonna continue the way we are.
I
Because
don't know.
because sports is a political tool.
We can't continue like that. Somebody just said, and I posted it up there, they said, even in elementary schools here in America, you find a track, a mini track.
And that's why
Elementary, you know,
and that's why
elementary,
and that's
the
why I say
youngest
to
of the
you and
bunch.
that's why I say to you, in a radius of 3 miles we'll find more sporting apparatus than there are in Jamaica.
I don't know.
And,
I
and,
think,
and, and I think if a silver lining is to be found here, the silver lining is that we give credit to our athletes because
yes,
despite of all these challenges and lack thereof,
look at the athletes
look
that
at
we're producing.
there you go.
Look
There
at
you
the
go.
athletes that we're producing. Then suppose we had the right infrastructure to develop and condition our athletes.
Well,
Athletes have to be sharing track to train.
well, that's a challenge we have, my dear, and that's why we at Team Jamaica, because we're gonna continue to do our part, and
We
that's
need
why.
to do something though. I think every year or every 2 years we can say, okay, we're going to allocate some funds to build a mini stadium. Let's start in the east. Let's start in the east since our central can use GC Foster. Let's start in the east and beg. We can beg and get things. I think if we beg, we will get it.
Well, I like to say if we leverage, we can
We
get things.
yes, we
Yeah,
need some negotiators. We need
yeah,
some
man.
real negotiators that can say, look, if you want to have track and field Jamaica, this is what I want.
And when we say track and field, we have to hurry and say it's actually a sports
Sports
complex.
complex.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. There you go. But it is one of my soft spot. It is one of my soft spot because we have been doing so well. 5 Olympic Games gone since the 21st century, and Jamaica alone, as a small country, Jamaica alone won 4 of those 100-meter titles out of the last 5 Olympic Games. We won 4 out of 5. The 200-meter, the same thing. We won 4 out of 5. The
Mhm.
4 100-meter, Shelly Ann won 2 and Elaine won 2. The 4 200-meter, Veronica Campbell Brown won 2, Elaine Thompson. So we have dominated the sprints at in the 21st century. The five Olympic Games, Usain Bolt won three of the 100 meters and three of the 200 meters. And we look the same. We can't look the same. We need to look
And then
business like.
we also have to be mindful too that we have to hurry up and make these changes because
Yes.
the world is catching up.
Thank you very
We
much.
cannot continue to fall back on talent alone. We have
Mhm.
to step up the game. We have to make sure that the science and technology, which is now so critical in these areas of sports, we are on top of it. And for that, we will need the infrastructure to build up. But I remain optimistic. I have to because it's what keeps us going and trying to raise the bar. And I think there's sufficient of us to make changes, and
We
we
just
just
have to keep the conversation
yes,
going and
yes,
hope that they realize that we're passionate about this thing and we have the country's interest at heart, because
indeed, indeed.
we just have to put things in place so that our athletes can get to the next level, as you say. But people who want to donate, before we get into a little game, because I'm going to test you. You have been
Yeah.
around track and field. Listen, you have been around track and field for more than 30 years, and I am
Mm.
going to test your
But
knowledge.
I've been carrying the water.
Listen, I'm going to test your knowledge, and it is an Olympic year, so most of my questions will be around the Olympics and our athletes. But before we get there, how can people donate? People who have an interest, 'cause people are going to watch this video. How can they donate to your organization?
Well, Team Jamaica Bickle is a 501(c)(3) organization, which means that your contributions are tax deductible wherever applicable. And we urge you to go to our website, teamjamaicabickle.org, where you'll find the opportunity to donate. And those who are coming to Penn, we also urge you to stop by any of our facilities there and, talk to us and leave your contribution there too. And tell your friend, tell another person. It's about our athletes' welfare, and it's a business of sports, and there are dedicated people out there who are meaningful and making sure that people picnic who come up are well taken care of.
Indeed, indeed. Before we get into this segment that I like very much, is there anything that I did not touch on that you would love to share with us that you think we need to know about your organization and what you do? Because you also wear another hat. Do you want to talk about that briefly?
Yeah, I think with Team Jamaica Bickle,
Okay, okay, okay.
the whole situation of it comes back down to making sure we have the right skill sets. If there are people out there who would like to participate with us, we welcome.
Mhm.
But understand that you come to the table with a certain skill set, especially marketing and the whole aspect of publicity. That's where the activities are these days. And because we try to source many of our stuff through our network, so people have assets or of professional assets and skill sets that they like to avail to us. We welcome, especially in the whole data transfer, the social media platforms, the fundraising, who may work for foundations. Because you see, what makes us a prime candidate is our longevity and our continuity and the fact that we have delivered. So these are some of the assets that we hope to use as we reach out to foundations. So people who may know of such and have the links, because that's how we work, brethren and brothers and sisters. Links. Many times it's cold call business just don't work. Know somebody who knows somebody. Let's work it. When we do that, we help to maintain a winning tradition. So
Indeed.
again, we thank those who support us and just keep us honest, and tell us, reach out to us, tell us things that you see happening that could improve what we do. We welcome that.
Indeed, indeed. Teamwork makes the dream work, they say.
Oh yeah.
And my tagline is one people, one legacy, one
Mm.
Jamaica. But getting into the nice part now.
Mm.
Mr. Irwin, did you compete in sports in your
Sport.
youthful days?
The only thing I used to run from, Heather, and is that I used to probably go take a Julie mango or East Indian mango that I should not take, and the man find out I have to run or if I could talk to him daughter, I shouldn't talk to him daughter. I'm have to run because the dog came after me. That's the only.
Well,
I
at least you did some running. You did some
I enjoy
running.
playing tennis. Actually, that's my sport, tennis, and
Okay.
that was basically it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Can Jamaica, well, you just said it, but I have it as a question. You said that any Jamaican, anybody can stop by your tent, because I was going to ask if it's
And
just for
by the
the
way,
athletes.
let me also state too, we are now in the Palestra. Heather.
The
We have
palestra.
we have moved up, on the east side. For the past, we're going to the Palestra second year. The Palestra is considered a cathedral of basketball in the United States. It's the University of Pennsylvania basketball arena, which is right outside the stadium. So our athletes now have better digs. They're no longer exposed to the elements, and we're very happy with that. It's very comfortable, and we're able to do a lot more things there. So you can stop by the Palestra, where you'll find us at the pen relays. Sorry, go ahead.
Beautiful, beautiful. If your life, your journey, your brand, everything was to be captured in a book, what would be the title of that book?
Labor of love.
Wow. You did not even have to think about it. I love that. Okay. I'm going to call some names and you tell me which school they went to. Let me finish. Don't answer until I give you all the names, because you might just get a clue in the names. Okay. Marjorie Hyman, Dorothy Scott, Etlin Tate, Vivian Spence Morano, Diane Hemmings McCarthy, Veronica Campbell Brown, Aileen Bailey Taylor.
Stop. Very
Hold on,
technical.
let me call all the names. I want them
Mm.
to hear their names. Hilary Oliver, Ines Turner, Kimberly Williams, Lacina Golding Clark are all Olympians of which high school?
Very technical. And by the way, Dion went to York Castle to here.
I know that
Let's not
Dion went
forget
to
that.
your
We,
castle,
we,
yes.
we claim her, okay? The
But you
first
should.
the first female gold Olympic gold medalist from
You
York
should.
Castle. Okay, all right.
Yes, you should claim her. She went to your castle and then very technical. Next one now. Let me finish all the names. Delarine Ennis London, Juliet Campbell, Bert Cameron, Karen Stewart, Johan Blake, Michelle Freeman are all Olympians of which high
Saint Diego,
school?
Saint Jago.
Man, you're bright. Oh, you're bright,
No, no,
sir.
no, no. Just
Next one. Grace Jackson, Latoya Greaves, Samantha Henry are all Olympians of which high school?
the Queen's School.
The Queen School is correct. Boy, man, bright tonight. Next one is
You gotta trick me up,
Miss.
man.
No, I'm not. Set you up, man. Miss Vilma Charlton was a member of which Olympic team? Miss Vilma
Oh, I
Charlton
didn't.
went to 3 Olympic games. If you name one, you're fine.
Boy, it couldn't be 40 because you're not that young.
No, it's not
I
48.
couldn't be 52. It could
No, not 52.
probably like, there was the Olympic year in 68.
Yeah, she was a part of the 1964, 1968,
68, yes.
and the
Yeah.
1972
22, yeah,
team.
yes.
1948, Herb
Mm-hmm,
McKinley, George
mm-hmm,
Roden,
mm-hmm,
Arthur Wint,
mm-hmm.
and Dash won gold in the men's four, not 1948, 1952, won gold in the men's 4x400 meter relay.
This is-
1952,
yeah,
Mr. Herb McKinley, George Roden, Arthur Wint, Dash won gold in the men's
yeah.
4x400 meter relay.
I know. He said wins. Oh
Who
gosh.
is the other person?
Oh god. I know who is the alternate. I know who the alternate was the
You have
beat.
to tell me who is the
Wait,
other
no, I'm
person.
seeing, yeah, I know. I'm looking at him now. Gosh, they were down there in Jamaica. Short guy, not the doctor. What name? I don't remember. Not all of it.
Mr. Leslie.
Ling.
Yeah,
Yes.
Leslie. Yeah.
I'm looking at them because I remember they had come to Jamaica and those were walking around wearing their names on their shirt one year with La Beach, Baron La Beach.
Yeah,
Who was the
man.
fifth member? Yes.
Yeah, this was the super team that relegated the United
Yes,
States
yes.
to second. Of course, they ran a world record. Next question. Marlene Otti or Grace Jackson, who won 200-meter silver at the 1988 Olympic Games?
Merlin Otti.
No, sir. It was
It was
Grace
Grace.
Jackson
Was it
from
Grace?
behind.
Oh
Grace
yeah.
Jackson is going to be so mad at you.
I know, but Grace always mad at me anyway. So
Yeah, Grace was at the back in this race. Grace actually came from behind and won silver behind the great Florence
right.
Griffiths Joyner.
Yes, yes.
All right, let me see now. My next question, sir. You see how easy they are?
No, they're not.
My next question is Team Jamaica women clean sweep the podium twice in the women's 100-meter at the Olympic Games. Name me one of those Olympic Games. Name me the year or even the place. Two
Was that?
times.
Yeah, was that? Is it Munich? Munich, 2000, 2004. I know just Veronica Sharon.
Clean sweep the
Yeah,
100 meters
yeah.
twice at the Olympic Games.
Is that 2000? Not 2008.
2008 is
Yes,
correct.
yes, 2008.
So
Yeah.
it was 2008
Mhm.
with Shelly Ann winning
Yeah, yeah.
gold and Karen
You're
and
right.
Sharon
Yeah.
winning silver. So that was a 1-2-2.
Three. Yeah. One, two, two.
And
Yeah.
and then in Tokyo
Yeah, one, two, three.
2021, it
One, two,
was Elaine, Shelly Ann, and Sharika.
three.
See how
Yes.
easy they are?
No, sir.
Okay. True or false? True or false? Jackie Pusey ran both the 4x1 and the 4x4 relays at the Olympic Games. True or false?
Pusey is Olympian, so I have to say true.
True. Yes, she did. She ran on both relays. And Jackie Pusey is formerly of St. Mary, another St. Mary
I
girl.
guess I push St. Mary's so one.
Yeah, man. St. Mary, I'm a place, man. St. Mary, I'm a new place. All right. Name the Jamaican who was a member of both 100-meter clean sweep at the Olympic Games. I just call all names.
Okay. Yeah, man. The Jamaican. So you have
Name
Veronica. You have Veronica.
Hold on before you
Yeah.
call any name.
Yeah.
Name the Jamaican athlete who was a member. Name the only member of the Jamaican team that was a part of the two clean sweeps in the 100
Oh,
meter.
oh. That's Chilean.
She was a part of the 2008 clean sweep and she was a part of the 2021 clean sweep.
Is it Sharon? Sharon would be the fastest then. Sharon. Lordy, lordy, lordy. But I have to go with Sharon now.
Shelly going to be so upset with you.
Chilean?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, Shelly was a part of
I don't
the
know why I
two
thought.
clean sweep.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she won
Okay.
in 2008 and she won
Okay.
silver in 2021. Next question now. See
This
how
is the
easy
last
there?
one.
Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Michael Frater, and the Dash broke the Olympic record in the men's 4x100-meter relay at the London Olympic Games in 2012, Jamaica 50. Who was the other member of this relay team? Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, and Michael Frater.
Nesta Carter.
Nesta is right. All right, next one. Who was the first Jamaican male to win gold in the sprints at the Olympic Games? Don't get this wrong, The first Jamaican male to win gold in a sprint event at the Olympic Games.
Win gold, right?
Yes, gold in the sprints, the 100.
Have to be Usain Bolt.
No, Mr.
Not
Donald Corey.
Jamaican.
Mr. Donald Corey is going to be so upset
Oh
with you.
Lord, we forgetting all about DQ. Yeah, 100 against Hazley Crawford in the 200
Yes,
meters. I came
Donald
second in the
Corey.
100 meters. You see, I'm so tied up in this.
But you know it. It was Donald Corey in
Yeah, man.
1976.
And
Yeah,
Hazley Crawford had won 100 meters. Yeah.
exactly. And Donald came second, and then
Yeah.
they turned the
He
table
turned it
in
around,
the
yeah.
table. Yeah, but you know your history, man. That's good. You know
Huh?
your history. You know the history.
So,
Next, who was the first Jamaican woman to win a medal at the Olympic Games?
okay, yeah, I know her. Oh gosh.
Who was the first Jamaican woman to win a medal at the Olympic Games? You can either give me name or the year. I will settle for any.
It just can't. But I know.
So this is Merlin
Yeah,
Joyce
yeah,
Otti at the
yeah,
1980 Olympic
yeah,
Games
yeah.
in
I thought so.
Moscow, Russia.
So I thought so. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it was Merlin in the
What
200.
what, what is she winning? A bronze?
A bronze, yes. So that was Jamaica's first medal in track
Okay.
and field at the Olympic
Olympics.
Games, and it
And
was
I think
Merlin.
the first goal would have been in 1996.
Yes, with Dion Hemmings.
Right.
Yeah.
At
Boy,
least we know
you
that.
not leave out York Castle. Big up
No.
York
Oh,
Castle.
by the way, and I'm still celebrating my 3 points that York Castle won at champs this year.
Wow. You hear that,
One,
guys?
two, three. All right. So,
Your Castle won three
three
points at
points,
Champs
and
2024.
I must tell you that was like a public holiday in Brownstown Monday morning.
Wow. No, this is what I like to hear. You won 3 points at Champs.
Yeah,
And look at your celebration. I love it.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. I
yeah.
love it.
Opportunities for the youngsters to go run in front of older people.
Yes,
It's a
indeed.
victory right there.
Indeed. My next question is Team Jamaica's first Olympic Games as a country had two women on this team.
Oh,
Name
shit.
me one of them. This was
We
1948.
never
Two.
born it, man. We never born it. We never born it. It's
I
all
wasn't
right.
born.
It's all right.
I wasn't born in that. A matter of fact, my father was born in 1948. So I was way out of
We
the
don't
picture
know.
in
We don't know.
1948.
We don't know that one.
But two women were on the team for track and field
Are they
at
still alive? Are they still
Jamaica's.
alive?
One of them is Dr. Cynthia Thompson. She's no longer with us, and the next one is Carmen Phipps.
Oh no, I would never.
Yeah, those are the two women. So these are pioneers. These are pioneers for Jamaica at the Olympic Games. Two women on that team with Mr. Herb McKinley, Mr. George Roden, Arthur Winton, Mr. Leslie, and company. Okay, my next question is I'm almost done.
Jeez.
Kathy Rattree, Bert Cameron, Ethelyn Tate, and Vivienne Spence Morana were all members of which year Olympic team?
Me remember that, but me
I'm going
know.
to give you a hint.
Yeah.
Gilbert,
Oh, 88. 88.
1988.
Yeah. Yeah.
1988.
Yes, 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 yes.
And
Hello, hello, Kathy. Yeah.
and that's it. And that's it. Erwin, that's it for all the questions. You did well, and I'm sure the audience got some information tonight. I see them typing all kind of things. DJ Rudy saying Asafa. He said Veronica. He said Bolt. Erwin Clare, what is your favorite Olympic moment for Jamaica between 1948 and 2021? Just one I need.
You know, I think what was the year when we had the 1, 2, 3 in the men in the I think it was 200 meters, right?
2012. That was
Yeah.
2012.
I watched that with my cousin at the Portia Simpson International Bus Park in Halfway Tree.
Yes, man. Halfway tree was lit.
And we had the pot cover and the excitement with the people.
Let me tell
Um
you,
it was
everything came to a stop in
yes,
halfway tree.
yes.
The
I
buses,
was I was at the
everything.
top. I was at the top
Yes,
because I got
yeah.
an invite to go to the top. And I tell you,
Listen, when that 200-meter was about to run, I don't know where people came from,
yeah,
but
man.
halfway tree was covered
Yes,
with
yes, it was.
people.
I
It
was
was,
I was there. I was there.
and when that gun went off in a man,
Oh
when the
yes.
starter said
Oh
yes,
yes.
and I mean, it was Jamaica 50. It was right in
Yeah.
the celebration of
Yes.
Jamaica 50.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there was
Yes.
a buzz in Jamaica and the energy and everything. And when we got that 1, 2, 3, we could not have asked for anything more for Jamaica 50.
That is so true. I mean, Jamaica was in high spirits.
Yeah, man, it was pandemonium in halfway tree. It was, it was. What is your favorite pen moment for Jamaica?
Okay, I can't put Usain Bolt's year there because that's just unfair.
Mhm.
All right. But I must say though, that was one of the only times that pen that is a continuous running event ever paused and just stopped. Pen just stopped. He did that. The only other event to cause pen to stop is a electrical storm. All right. And Usain Bolt. My pen moment would be the young man from, um, and I was to have two experiences with him that jolted me. Young man from Belfield in the five.
Kamoy. Oh, Kamoy Campbell.
Kemoy Campbell.
Kamoy Campbell, yeah.
I remember the Friday evening when he ran the fourth fastest time in the 5,000 meters, I think, at Penrith. Because I don't usually go watch the games, right? And I just happened to be on the field that evening, and the just the fact that it was out of the regular expectation of what our athletes did, sprinters,
Mm-hmm.
and here was this guy just lapping everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's what he does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there's another time too when Johan Blake ran down this kid from Long Beach Poly or whatever. I say. And then I say that for Kemoy because I was also to be at the Armory when Kemoy's professional life actually came to an end when he
Yeah, that was very sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I always revert back to Kemoy at the stadium that Friday evening. And
Mm-hmm.
and I know there are many other major
Oh
races.
yes, indeed,
But
indeed, indeed.
like I said, I don't have the privilege of watching races because I'm there to do other things.
You're
But
hosting,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. But when I do get out, that was one of the races that really, you know, and there's a kid called Jovain, forgot his name, out of Rhodes Hall.
Oh yes, man. He's a hurdler, the
Yes,
400-meter
yes,
hurdler.
he had
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
his name is Rovin.
Williams,
Rovin. Yes,
something like that.
yeah, I know who you're talking.
And
Yeah.
we actually sponsored that team up that year. And I remember the Saturday morning we was driving down with us. It was a cold Saturday morning, the first time coming a foreign. And just his composure. I was very religious at the time. And we talked to him and he says he's going out to do what he came here to do. And he went there and he won that race. And
He actually won a champs that same
yeah, yeah,
year.
50, I remember 50 seconds I think he had
Yeah.
done.
Hmm.
And he went to Penn and he delivered. And I knew what it meant for Rhodes Hall. I spoke about my celebration, but I also know what it meant for Rhodes Hall because I know the humble beginnings. They don't have anything down there. Them jump over desk and hold something and all that kind of stuff. And that's how it came to be. So those are the kind of stories that stimulates me. The persons who come from, let's say, nothing to something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and thank you, Osman. I know your cast, you see, we may not win champs, but we're good at robotics. We're representing Jamaica right now in Houston, Texas.
Doing other things,
Oh,
indeed.
yes, yes, yes. And I was also privileged, group to be the person who took the first robotic kit to York Castle and introduced
Wow.
to that. So, I am quite familiar with that. And our president, Mr. Dwight Clark, is down there now with the team. So, yeah, yeah, we win other things.
Congrats to
Beat
your
up
castle. Big up your castle.
Yeah, we beat up JC. That was KC. All them and JC is our actually our mentor. But we represent in Jamaica right now. So yeah, yeah.
Indeed,
So,
indeed.
so yeah, yeah.
Looking
Those are the moments.
back, looking back at your achievement, when you look back at your legacy, because as I told you before, legacy is my favorite word. When you look back at this legacy that you're a part of, that you've started, would you have done anything differently?
Yeah, man. Mm. But I started earlier. Mhm. But I started earlier because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, indeed,
And
indeed.
and as I get to a certain stage in life now, I said, wow, could have done this 20 years earlier. But quite appreciative of the time.
Yep.
And we made mistakes, but the mistakes were also used to propel us to greater things. So I take it all. I can't pull something out because everything connected to cause where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You take the good or the bad or the whatever you want to call it. It's all part of it's a fabric. It's a kaleidoscope, they call it, or a come
Mm-hmm.
together of things. They're
Indeed.
all interconnected.
Indeed, indeed. What's next for Team Jamaica? Because I mean, 30 years, people would say you've done it all. What's next? 30
Yeah,
years, you know?
like I said earlier, we have to build out a new stream of resources. There are some things we want to do in Jamaica, some of the things you might have mentioned. We have our legacy project we'll be working on. We'll be announcing that soon. And then to go on to other projects, and it will all be driven by the level of funding we can get, because it takes cash to make it happen there too, and we also want to bring to the table a certain amount of resources and reach out to entities in Jamaica for partnership. you know Certain things we can bring to the table, certain things are available in Jamaica that can be brought to the table, and find the chemistry, to make things happen. And bit by bit, brick by brick. I'm not into the coming down with a shower and all that. No, no, I'm taking it step at a time, because what we build here has to last. Legacy,
Indeed.
legacy.
Legacy, man. That's the word. Legacy. I love it. Erwin Clear, my good friend. Thank you very much for stopping by tonight and just telling us about your organization, what you do, you and your team. I mean, I've been hearing about this organization way before I met you, but could not put a face to it. And here we are tonight. Erwin Clear and his team. Thank you very much for stopping by, Mr. Clear. And I'm going to give you the last word. Is there anything you want to say before you go in closing? He's going to
Ladies,
close the show.
ladies and gentlemen, she lied to me. She told me I'd only be on for 30 minutes. But if it go well, I might stay on longer. She lied to me.
And
But
wow, look at
um,
it.
I love what I do. I'm at a stage in life now that what I do, I have to love it. I love what I
Mhm,
do. So even though at times I may see him cranking all that, no, no, it's because lots of things are happening and we have to get it right.
mhm,
Have to
mhm,
get it right for our athletes, because when they go out there, they get it right. And an athlete's lifespan is the shortest, probably in most major sports.
mhm,
So they have a shorter time to get it right. And so I want to be part of that process that helps them to get it right, and that means ensuring that the infrastructures, the necessities to cause that are in place. Because when that happens, less young people will find time to do nefarious things and things that
mhm,
are not good to society. More young people will have opportunities to, again, I go back to this, build a house to their mother.
mhm, mhm. Indeed, indeed.
That's that,
Mr.
that's
Clear.
that's that's my drop mic moment.
Yes. Thank you very
You're
much
quite welcome.
for being here. Thank you for you're a busy man, I know. And I mean, Penn is next week and here you are. And I did say 45 minutes, but
You know what you said?
it's almost
Uh,
2 hours. two
hey,
hours. And I
I
thank you.
had I had
But
fun.
I
I had fun.
but I did say no, I did say I have this thing where most times I tell my interviewee that it's only be an hour and we are here like for 2 hours, 2 hours plus. Because if the conversation is flowing and the information is flowing, man. But I am glad that you were able to stay and talk to us. And you're doing a great job. I
Thank you.
admire what you are doing. I can tell you, I really admire what you're doing, and I'm trying to follow in your footsteps.
Ah,
So you're like one of my idols. But
privilege.
keep doing what you're doing, and
And you keep
I've,
on doing what you do too, because we need influences and voices like yours in the wilderness and on Main Street, to make sure that the message is correctly and efficiently um, represented.
indeed, 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 indeed. With that said, thank you very much, Mr. Claire, for being here. Have a good night, sir, and we will speak. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you. So there we have it, or there we had it, guys. Mr. Claire himself, Mr. Erwin Claire. Thank you all for being here. It was supposed to be, of course, always an hour, and we're here for 2 hours, but that was a very good conversation. And of course, he is doing great things for Jamaica. And guys, I just want to let you know that I have started a project in Jamaica. It is called HP1K Distant Academy, because we are neglecting the middle and long distance, and I have started something. My organization have started something with a young man named Kino, and we are working with some athletes, grassroots athletes. They're just like 11 and 12, because we are trying to build something that as a country we have neglected. So it is about the middle and long distance. And guess what, guys? Guess what? The athletes will be going to their first meet tomorrow at Kingston College. Not tomorrow, Saturday at Kingston College. So yes, as Erwin just said, all of us are trying to do our part, because at the end of the day, it is about one Jamaica. It is about building Jamaica, and it is about the athletes. It is about the children. So our athletes will be going to their first meet tomorrow at Kingston College. So of course, I'll be posting videos and pictures for you guys to see. So you will hear more about this um, project that we're working on, the academy that we're trying to set up, because I want to see more people going to the Olympic Games for Jamaica in the 800, the 1500, the 5,000. So, of course, I'm reaching out, because I am going to start begging, because I need funding in order to help these young people. And I must say to Olympian Miss Vilma Charlton, Miss Vilma Charlton has helped me to source some spikes for these athletes, which I am working on. So, Miss Vilma Charlton, who has become my auntie, Miss Vilma, thank you very much for making that link. So, we are doing our part, and of course, creating a legacy, leaving a legacy behind. So, this is what I'm doing, and I need your help. So, guys, please, I'm asking you to go to my website. It is www.hptrackworld.com and donate. And it doesn't matter how small it is, people. Just please, I'm asking you to leave something there for the children. So far, we have 10 athletes, 10 babies. They're all like 12, just about to go to high school. So we're trying to condition them so that they can get a scholarship to move into high school. And as I said before, not tomorrow, I keep thinking it's Friday, Saturday, they will be going to a meet at Kingston College. But I need your help to do this, because as it is right now, this is being done from my pocket, and I am not a rich person. So I need your help to do a lot more for these children, because they're depending on us. And earlier, Mr. Clare said, I am pushing St. Mary. This project is being done in St. Mary, because everything is being done in Kingston, and I want to do something different. So the first leg of this academy is being set up in St. Mary. And of course, I have a little thing for St. Mary, because I have interviewed quite a few Olympians from St. Mary. And this lady behind me, Aileen Bailey, she is a face of this channel, and she too is from St. Mary. So St. Mary is my new home. So we're going to start in St. Mary and of course build on it. So again, I'm asking you, donate whatever you can donate. I'm going to go on a sneakers drive. I'm begging sneakers, it doesn't matter. I'm just begging each person to buy a pair of sneakers. Okay, Lansford Lyons is saying to repeat the website. It is www.hptrackworld.com. www.hptrackworld.com, and any page you go on, you will see the word donate. Please, I'm asking for your donation. Kerry and Phillips, big up yourself. Everyone on the live. Nadine Barif, I see you. Oh, Miss Vilma Charlton is there. She said, many, many blessings as you embark on the next 30. That is to Mr. Claire. Thank you very much for posting that, Carry on. Let me just drop it right here. So here is the website to donate to my project, www.hptrackworld.com. Just click on donate, and remember, guys, it doesn't have to be a lot. Whatever you can give is appreciated. As I said before, these are children from humble, very, very humble beginning, and we're just trying to help them so that they can get scholarships to go to the high school of their dreams where their talent can be further developed. And already we have some schools looking at them. I won't call the name of the schools, but already we have some schools that have interest. So this is what we want to do. We want to help these children who their parents cannot afford to buy them the sneakers, to buy them the clothes. So that is what Kino and myself were doing. So the website again, www.hptrackworld.com, and the name of the project is HP1K Distant Academy. So if you're a sprinter, it is not the place for you. Middle and long distance, because we want to bring that back into Jamaica. We want to see more 800 people making the teams to global meets for Jamaica. So please, guys, donate. And as I said before, I'm going on a sneakers drive. I am begging sneakers um, from size 7 to what children wear. I think from size 7 to maybe size 9. I'm going on a sneakers drive. So if you can buy me a pair of sneakers, if you can just go online, buy me a pair of sneakers, send it to me for either girl or boys, it doesn't matter. I would really appreciate that because they need it. They need the sneakers, they need the spikes, but the spikes, I am already getting the spikes from Olympian Miss Vilma Charlton. So the spikes is not a problem anymore. I also need t-shirts, I need shorts, whatever you can afford. And of course, you can contact me and I will give you the mailing address. Yes, Carrie and Phillips, youth size, they're like 12. They're like 12-year-olds, so they're not big. They're slim. So shorts, shirts, slippers, sneakers, whatever you can give. I am here begging on their behalf because it is one Jamaica, and as I said before, one people, one legacy. So I need your help for this project to be successful. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you next week, Thursday night, same time, when we will do it all over again. Okay, the sizes are from 5.5 to 8.5 for sneakers, and the kids, they're small. As I said before, they are like 12-year-olds. They're 11 and 12, so they're very small because we're trying to focus on the children, conditioning them so that schools can reach out and pull them into their program where they will be able to get an education, academics, and of course to develop their talent. So please help us to help them. And I'm going to come here every week and beg. I'm going to come here every week and beg. So please, please, please don't be afraid to give something. And as I said before, the website is hptrackworld.com. Please leave me a donation. It doesn't have to be anything big. Whatever you can afford, God will multiply it, and so that we can help these children. So thank you guys for being here tonight, everyone. One Kino, who is the coach right now, he's here. Thank you very much, Kerry and Phillips. DJ Rudy, CEO of Wet Sundays, is here. Number one, Assistant Carrie Ann Phillips from Wet Sundays. Also here, thank you guys very, very much. Miss Vilma Charlton, Lansford Lyons, thank you so much for your support. Marlene Green was here. Thank you. Wherever you're coming from, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it is Europe, Africa, Asia, Antarctica, North America, South America, Oceanic. I'm sure I got all seven continents. Wherever you're tuning in from, thank you for being here every Thursday night. Thanks for your support and thank you so much. And I will see you again soon and have a great, great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. And of course, we will do it all over again next week. Bye. Peace. Peace.